You know what I did after I saw this tweet? I thought to myself for a little bit, and I tried to reflect. Because this is a tweet that I saw last night after the Vancouver Canucks lost in regulation at home with a jersey thrown on the ice to the Buffalo Sabres 3-2. I saw this tweet, a huge night for the tank. Nashville gets a huge 2 points, and the Canucks lose in regulation. They are now 3 points clear of 32nd place in the NHL. I saw this tweet and I was like, man, that's a throwback. This sort of discourse, this rhetoric that Hughes is the GOAT goes out there and shares, hey guys, this was great. It was an awesome day for Team Tank. And I had to take a little bit of a blast to the past because it turns out we did make videos in this similar vein all the way back during the Jim Benning, Trevor Linden days. I mean, these videos are from 7-8 years ago. Team Tank, fans of the tanking, toxic community of hockey social media stuff. Guess what? If I had a chance to talk to the Lego Rocks that existed 7 years ago, back when I was in my senior year of high school making videos daily for the first time ever about NHL news, I would be like, hey man, buckle up. In 2025, we're going to be talking about the same thing. 7-8 years down the line after we talk about tanking back in this time frame, we're still using the same verbiage and the same phrases. Oh, what a big night for Team Tank. By the way, that Nashville Predators game, absolutely outstanding. Like, who in their right mind thought that Steven Stamkos had it in him to get a 4-goal game in the big old 2025? Playing for Nashville of all teams. Vancouver is last in the National Hockey League in points. They are last in the National Hockey League in points percentage. And the rough part is you can honestly say that they haven't played that badly. They're just not getting the bounces. And this is a quote from Adam Kierszenblat of the Hockey News. He posted this from Brock Besser. This was Besser's post-game commentary about the frustration level right now compared to the past, and how the group plans to work through it. Besser said after the loss against Buffalo, I think this is different. I don't know. This feeling has been a little different than in the past. I feel like there are games where we're playing pretty well and outchancing teams and stuff, and we're on the wrong side of things. I think it just comes down to doing the little things right. I think you always have to go back on that, and we have to be harder to play against. And the little details of the hockey game. You have to make sure you're dialed in at all times. And I think there is times where we get away from those details and the puck ends up in our net. And I think that's definitely a big issue. Aw, man. If there's one thing that I hate, it's seeing Brock Besser get upset and seeing him get frustrated. But my golly gee, this situation, I'd say it comes across pretty well on the TV that the Vancouver Canucks, yes, they have to do the little things right. Yes, there has to be more execution there. But also, yes, this team absolutely sucks. David Kampf went from the AHL to playing first-line center on this team. Brock Besser and Jake DeBrusk, two extraordinarily streaky scoring wingers, are exhibiting a pretty bad low point in their streakiness of the year. Evander Kane isn't really doing much. Kiefer Sherwood scores a lot of goals and then he goes cold for a month. And then you have the rest of this lineup being filled out by Abbotsford guys and a guy in Höglander who just came back and started the year. This team is just not good enough, and that is definitely hurt by the injuries. No Hedl, no Pettersson. That's an excuse, right? But at the end of the day, this forward core, this group, in order for them to win games, they kind of need to play perfect hockey, or they kind of need to get lucky on being able to get chances and bury them. Not to mention the fact that Thatcher Demko didn't have a great night last night as well. Just an overall stinker from the Vancouver Canucks. But, that is not the narrative that we saw after the game. Oh no. Oh, no. It's not the fact that in recent games, the Canucks have held opponents to 15, 18, 21, 23, 24 shots. It's not the fact that all of these games ended up in losses. Oh no, we're way beyond past talking about the Canucks being bad and losing games. We are talking about Quinn Hughes and all of the trade rumors surrounding him. Here's the quote. Adam Foote went out there and said this after the game against Buffalo. There's a lot of noise with Huggy, and the players are aware of that. It is what it is. So, Adam Foote already acknowledging earlier in the week that Quinn Hughes trade rumors have made their way into the room. Now he's going out there and saying it again. Yeah, there's a lot of noise. Players are aware of it. It is something that they will have to deal with. And I just wanted to get some extra thoughts out there about the Quinn Hughes situation in regards to trade chatter and whatnot. Quinn Hughes also spoke out about all that stuff. Farhan Lalji asked about it in the post-game presser. Quinn Hughes tells Farhan that the trade chatter doesn't faze him as much as where the team is in the standings and the results. Hughes adds that the team feels the same way, but he admits he is human, and he does feel it. So, there you go. Quinn Hughes, following the same vein that he presented at the Langley food drive earlier this week, which, by the way, was totally awesome. I'll forgive the guy for not going to the hospital, but showing up at the food drive, that's awesome. Echoing the sentiments that he had shared in that situation, he's going out there and saying, yeah, I'm focused on the team. Focused on what they're doing right now, focused on the standings, and we're disappointed with that more so than any trade chatter that could be tossed out there. But he does admit he is human. He does feel it. Take a look at Taj. He goes out there and replies, both the coach and Quinn have now said they're feeling the trade talk. Rutherford didn't trade Horvat until the end of the 30th. He loves dragging things out just to make them as toxic as possible. Just look at that Bruce Boudreau situation. Now, I don't know if toxic is the word I would use here when referring to the Quinn Hughes situation, but hey, it started to gain some more traction around various NHL fan bases, and now we're starting to see even more folks like Washington Capitals people, for example, speaking out about the Quinn Hughes situation. In fact, yesterday we made a video talking about Quinn Hughes and maybe Cole Hudson as to being a potential target in some sort of a trade. And this video, when I shared it on Twitter, it actually got a pretty decent response from the community of Capitals fans that exists there. Take a look at what Noah goes out there and says. He's Caps Boy Bebop. This tweet had 30,000 views. Look, I'm not saying I want it to happen, but why are we pretending that Quinn Hughes wouldn't immediately be the best player on the team? He would be, but that being said, I see no reason to make a move for him when our defense is already at a logjam. Another reply goes out there and says this, wait a minute, there are Caps fans who don't think this and who don't want Quinn? Randy replies, I just don't want to give up Cole Hudson and or Ilya Protas. Who the hell needs Cole Hudson when you have Quinn Hughes? And I would say that this is a reasonable response after the issue is that Quinn is almost guaranteed to leave at the end of the contract. If Hudson pans out, the Caps would have more of a chance of keeping him as a franchise defenseman. Look, Cole Hudson could be a franchise defenseman. If his brother Lane is any indicator, I'd say that those Hudson guys have franchise defenseman potential written in their bloodstream. But Cole Hudson isn't even an NHL defenseman yet, so talk about putting the cart before the horse. I get it though, right? If Washington fans are more committed to the long-term idea of Cole Hudson versus a 1.5-year sample of Quinn Hughes, then I would see a lot more reason to be hesitant for that type of a deal. But as we had spoken about earlier from Elliot Friedman's article, seems like the Capitals might actually want to re-sign Quinn Hughes for 2 years or something, just to keep that contention window open while Ovi is still around. Anyways, that's a conversation for another day, or earlier in the day's show. We already spoke about it. But I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about all these Vancouver Canucks notes? The fact that they are dead last in the league. The fact that we are still using the same language when talking about the Vancouver Canucks and tanking as we were 6, 7, 8 years ago, and the fact that Quinn Hughes trade rumors have hit the room. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.